Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's study session. We will be looking at the big blind defending with 100 big blinds. So a very wide spot in very deep waters. Very dangerous to look at. So we are going to pull up a spot on GTO Wizard. And after we do one hand, we will do a little bit of theory work here. We're going to start off playing against the button, the cutoff, and the hijack. And we're going to look at how we defend against these ranges in the opening spot. And then later on, we'll look at the low jack under the gun one for a reason that's going to become obvious. And we'll finish off with a little bit of blind play. So we will, and we will take a look at this spot and look at some theory. So we are going to start with what we defend against the button open. So when the button raises, we come to the big blind, and you can see we are defending everything on the suited side, and we are folding this little branch of offsuit fives. So kind of the key thing to remember here is we're starting off with 10-5. When we move to how we defend against the cutoff from the big blind, we'll see that we've moved from 10-5 to jack 6. And you can see a little window of what's coming up when we move to the hijack and open and the big blind. We are now into offsuit sevens. So you can see the pattern going 5, 6, 7 from the button cutoff hijack. This is
Surely
a
we don't
pattern.
fold king 8 from the low jack though, right?
Well, we're going to work on low jack under the gun one a little bit later, but you're going to see that the pattern changes ever so slightly, but still continues on. This pattern that we see here in defending the big blind is pretty resilient to stack depth. So as we go down and we start looking at it a little bit shorter, right, we can see at 60 big blinds, we're still kind of folding this queen 7. At 40 big blinds, still kind of folding this queen 7. Sorry, 50 big blinds, 40 big blinds. We start shifting our strategy a little bit here, relying on more high card based and less of the straight equity cards. They're not going to be able to realize as deep stacked, and high cards become more and more important. And then the strategy is going to shift again as we get shorter and shorter, and our high cards become more and more resilient here. And just making a pair and getting it in becomes better and better. So off we go back to 100 bigs. And we'll do a little bit of work here. We'll also look briefly at the 3-betting range. Now, when we've been looking at different spots interacting with each other, the 3-betting range, the idea has been not what combos are we raising from the range, but how often are we raising the combos? And so here, from the big blind against the button, there, the button opens. So we'll go here first. We take a look at the button's range. So the button is opening the offsuit 8s and the suited 5s, 85. It's mixing in some offsuit 7s, but primarily the offsuit 8s. So when they open that range, the big blind uses suited 6s, suited 7s, suited 5s, and then all of these suited connectors. We're going to see with the deep stack big blind defense, suited connectors are very prevalent in the 3-betting strategy. a little bit of offsuit aces, a little bit of offsuit kings, a little bit of offsuit queens, but very heavily in the suited connector area to pair with your best value hands. That's against the button. As we move to earlier and earlier positions, the cutoff is coming in with this range, where they're coming in with offsuit nines, suited sixes, and our big blind range that's going to react to that is going to attack with suited eights, suited sevens, suited sixes, suited connectors, best value hands, and a few ace, king, queen blockers. And as we move to the hijack, who is opening offsuit tens, suited sevens, suited eights too. We respond in the big blind with attacking with some suited nines, suited eights, and suited connectors. So let us do some work here. And suited gapper. Ever a 3-bet or just a call? Just a call. So we get a nice flop, 10-4-3. Does anyone ever want to lead this flop?
Nope.
100% check. Really looking to lead flops that are 7, 8 high, connected. But when we give it a check, are we going to check raise this combo?
No.
Nope, just a fold, give up.
Maybe a little. I mean, not fold, right?
I'll
Call.
call.
Call
Okay.
some, raise a little.
All right, my fingers are itching. But it's just a call.
Yeah, I think you need spades or hearts to raise.
Yeah, at least one spade. Right, it's going to be much more prevalent to have some flush interaction this deep. Right, at 40 big blinds, are you check raising this?
Still no?
Okay,
I don't think
I
so.
don't know, actually.
I
Alright.
Probably
wouldn't.
goes up a little.
we'll take a
What do you think,
quick
Joey?
look.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't, okay.
I wouldn't use these suits. In fact, at 40, I might start to fold a bit.
Yeah.
It's
40.
nice to have a spade, right? Or two hearts.
So he bets, and what do we have? 75?
7-5 suit.
75 suited.
Just a call.
Just a call. There's a little bit of raising. Much more with the
Tiny.
flushes.
Tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, I would pick the ones with the suits.
About the same, looks
Okay.
like, right?
So we give it. Yeah. And second card pairs, flush completes. Pretty good. We have a lot of fours we call here. Anyone else's hands itching?
Yeah, I'm just not sure how much.
I'm gonna rule out the 95 size.
Oh, yeah, that one's easy.
So it's just gonna be one of these two. I mean, we could check too, maybe, but
No, that
Yes,
card's way too good for us. I'm not checking.
two.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
checking.
Oh.
It is primarily checking.
Hmm.
So let's take a peek. Why is it checking? So it
Maybe
didn't
it was-
check raise the. Didn't lead the turn.
Well, it didn't want to be shoved off of its equity.
I mean, it seems pretty thin, but I guess it has 2 overs to second pair. 75, yeah, just.
Maybe button can also have a lot of 4x when they bet small.
Take a peek at that cutoff. How much 4 does the cutoff have?
Not much.
We
Ace
don't
four,
have-
king
4, 3,
four,
4, 6,
6,
4, 5.
4.
Mhm.
Got some
Yeah,
fours.
not the offsuit ones. We don't have that many offsuit ones.
Yeah, it's a total of 20 combos of fours.
Yeah, it's really driven by the tens and better here, right? So still got like sixes and sevens and eights and nines here, at pretty full frequency, so. Okay. So we just check. And I gotta think we're giving up here.
Yeah. Oh, there's the 4.
Queen nine. Is this ever a 3-bet?
I would say yes, this deep.
How
So
often
Yeah,
use
probably
nines,
like
Connected nines, connected eights, connected sevens, 10-7, 10-9, 9, jack 9, jack 8, all that crap, right?
60-40.
I think less. Let's say like 80-20.
Yeah, I'm gonna say queen nine is actually too good against the button. It's gonna look for a worse queen, but
Oh,
100% call.
yeah, I think it's gonna raise a worse queen than this. Maybe queen 7.
yeah. Can you miss the ranges? But
Yeah,
against
that's
the
fine. I
button,
still
we use
thought it was
more.
just, this triangle's in here, so like, I mean, it is too good. Queen 9, queen 8 even's too good. Is queen 8
Yeah.
in there? Oh, I can't see these colors.
Nope. It's queen 6.
Queen 6, so yeah, the queens are just too good, but this other triangle, it's kind of what I was aiming at.
Yep.
I'm fine.
All right, we get this nice little paired board. Very safe check. And we face a very small bet. Is this just a give up?
No,
Ooh,
It is for me. Probably is.
Yeah, it is for me, but in theory land, probably can call.
all right, Joey, I think you're the only one taking us out on the road here. Are we going call or are we going big?
I'm not sure. I
Call.
think,
Paired boards,
I think we can call. We got 2 overs to the 5s. Backdoor flush. I think we can call.
so what about calling queen 10 as opposed to queen 9? Queen 10 can improve to a gut shot on the turn. Queen 9 can't improve to a gut shot.
Yeah, so maybe like queen 10 and then also like 9, 8, 9, 7, 9, 6. I prefer all that stuff.
Just calls the small bet with the
Yeah,
implied odds of the backdoor flush sufficient.
Yep.
I would have
Queen,
thought,
hit a queen, you're probably, you can be good a lot too. Either
Yeah.
pair,
Yeah.
Or a 9.
but
I would have thought queen 10 would have gone and queen 9 would have folded here, but let's take a look at how many queens get frisky.
oh, let me ask you a
Oh.
question. At this deep, is the heuristic of still check raising more than calling a pretty big heuristic? From the big blind on the paired board?
No,
So it is not so big. It's 47% or 41% fold, 41% call, and then 20% assorted raises.
So then, yeah, so now I can get, that makes me think I can call more, but like, I'm just thinking like, if I gotta check raise a lot, like, I don't wanna be raising this hand. And I didn't think it was good enough to call, so yeah, makes sense if we're not check raising as much.
Yeah, so you're just able to float a lot of flush draws here at this price. Okay, we get a jack. I don't think that leads us to betting. And our opponent checks back the turn. Do we want to turn this queen high into a bluff? My instinct is no.
yeah, I'm not sure if we gotta bluff some queens or
I think we do.
if we start bluffing at 10s.
I go 6.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's 6 or 13.
So they're not gonna fold any pocket pairs, so we're basically just targeting better queens and king high.
Yeah.
So like half pot maybe is enough. If you
We
bluff.
might get him to fold some twos.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if
King two, queen
twos-
two.
Twos, threes, fours. Little smaller, if you want to go. It really just targets the unpaired hands. Try and make them fold. King, king 10 and better. King 10
That
and
seems
worse.
like a very small target though for,
Yeah, 10-9.
Yeah, you're
Normally
just
bet
targeting
that's-
high cards.
But you were right that we mainly don't bluff. Just wanna
Because they're
showdown
not-
queen high, huh?
Yeah, they're not gonna fold, like, I don't think they get to fold a pair. Like, if they have pocket sixes, pocket fours, I think they gotta call. Right?
When we bet that size, they are folding pocket sixes and calling fours, threes, twos,
Well, that's weird.
sevens, and better.
What
Yeah,
if we
they only
bet-
fold pocket
go
sixes.
to our lane, see where our bluffing starts. Are we checking all of our kings?
And I would have bet half pot. So even like, I'm thinking at half pot, they're not gonna fold those pairs either, honestly.
Yeah, we check
Yeah, we're
all
not-
our kings and most of our queens.
Yeah, makes sense.
And jacks, well, jacks are value, and then we just have 10 high as a bluff. Everything lower than 10 bluffs.
It
Yeah.
kinda looks like the queens below the fives is where your
Yeah.
line is to start bluffing.
All the
Lot of
fours, all
small
the
bluffing. Pretty sweet.
the yeah, the fours and threes, they all block the straight. that came
Yes,
in.
yes, that's where,
That's why it's picking all of those ones.
makes sense.
All right, 10-8 offsuit cut off. Are we defending this?
Yeah, for sure.
Easy
We can
call.
even maybe,
Anybody
like, I
else?
would three bet bluff this some too, but maybe not this deep, but like 80, 60, I think on at least sometimes.
I think this might have some slivers of raising.
That's not doing it. This deep, I guess. I don't know the range this deep, honestly.
Well, I know there's slivers on the kings and queens.
Yeah, you want to have a blocker to value, right? To attack here. So you really want to have a king, an ace, or a queen here. And even a jack sometimes, but 10's just a
Don't
little
we-
too far afield.
Don't we mainly use suited combos at this depth too?
Yes, the offsuit ones are going to be a minority, like 10 to 15% three bet thing.
But they still get in there.
They still get in there a little bit.
The ones I like hitting now are like the high-low kings and queens.
All right, so we get ace, jack, 8. We flop a little piece. And it goes check, check. We are
So this is strange to me, like, that seems like a range bet board practically. And he's gonna have some large sizes, I think he's betting like really a mixed strategy.
Yeah, I think
that's-
ace jack is a little more polarized.
Yeah, I
Let's
think
take a
you go
look at what
big
his
or
But when they.
you might
I'm
even
not-
get over bets, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna start betting my 8 versus a check after on that flop, honestly.
Yeah, I would check again.
so
I
on
mean,
that
not cuz
flop,
I'm, yeah, go ahead.
he's checking 20% of the time. And he's betting small 50% of the time, and he's betting large 25, 30% of the time.
There's just not a
He's-
lot of checks and there is a lot of like, via the mixed strategy. So like, I guess, I don't think we get to start betting an 8 or a jack. I mean, maybe some jacks, but.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet those either yet.
He has a lot of checks with 6s, 7s, 9s, 10s, kings. Right? He has a lot of these pair hands that have a hard time improving, that are just taking a check line. And then he's got some king little, some queen little, some jack little that's checking.
So at least you can get some value if you bet your jacks some here, but like the 8, you're not really getting value from anything. Some draws that might continue, I guess.
Yep. And so it's still just a check
Do we bet any of our jack X?
on the turn.
Yeah, I feel like they can like squeeze out a little value, maybe.
Well, with how many, yeah,
Mhm.
I would I wouldn't be surprised if Jack X has a bit of lead in here.
King, jack, queen, jack, maybe.
So for us on the turn, we are leading 20% of the time, very polarized, no small bets, only big bets. And because of that, it is not betting a lot of jacks.
No, jack eight is two pair, jack four is two pair.
Yep.
Ace jack, that's about it. A little bit of king jack.
Look at
Some
all the
aces.
fours, 10, 4, 9, 4, 8, 4.
Well, it
Yep.
does make sense to bet, bluff bottom pair.
Yeah.
You block him turning the set, right?
Well, and they
Or
benefit a lot from
turning
getting
two pair.
folds right away.
That too, yeah. Yeah, cuz if he's kind of capping himself on flop and we block the improvement, it's good.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of jack 4 or 8-4 in his range, so the 4 is pretty clean for us, right? Other than ace 4 that check the flop. So bet when we have a 4, it's probably a pretty good bet here. Do we call this 55% pot bet with third pair?
Yeah, we're on the hook for one, right?
One street?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a heart, so that makes me wanna call even more.
Wow.
Ooh,
Just give up.
just give up. We have so many jacks
Yeah.
that we get here with and so many aces that we just give up this 10 or to give up this 8.
Yeah, we can only call when he bets like two.
Probably an 8 defends against a smaller bet. Against the polarized size, it gives it up.
This is the kind of shit that makes me a fish, not being able to fold turn here.
Look at him check ace queen on that flop. What a balanced and dangerous.
And you
opponent.
also have to always remember you can. When an ace flops and we're in the big blind out of position, we can overfold the flop. But if he doesn't, if he delays C bets, then you can overfold the turn. To go to the river with a better range.
So one of the things that we've seen is the propensity for hands that we would think of as triple barrel hands to not triple barrel deep stack. And so the ace queen, right? Top pair second kicker checks the flop to polarize and bet big on the turn and big on the river there.
Hey,
Right? Looking
Peter,
to
if
get
he,
through
let's
the
say
end.
he used that same size on the flop. We
Mhm.
would still call the flop, right? We wouldn't just fold immediately with the backdoor stuff.
Well,
I wouldn't
take-
fold. I imagine we can't fold a pair yet.
It's like, oh, we're on the turn and we didn't turn any backdoor, so we can now get away.
So let's take a look. Does third pair defend on ace high boards this deep stacked? So if we check and
Like
he
7,
gives us
8,
4
I would
points of
fold.
bets,
But I feel like 10, 8 with the double backdoor straight draw stuff. It's too good.
yep, we call
But it is
almost all
indifferent.
of our eights.
10-8 is starting to be indifferent.
Even
Yeah.
9, 8 is out of there, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
not
just the
printing.
double backdoor straight draw.
You really want to have one of the flush combos to go with your eight. Right? Or a better kicker. Like, look at king 8, 0.03 chips. Like, king 8 is not very happy here.
Cool, thanks.
No problem. So yeah, on ace high boards, third pair, pretty marginal. This deep. Okay, so we call the raise and we get this nice open-ended flop. Gonna be a check for sure. And it goes check, check. All right,
Overbet.
over. Joey is getting the hammer out. 7 clams to jam.
Yeah, I like purple.
I like
Deep
5.
I had like 3,
There
or
it is.
even like some checking still.
Okay.
Maybe.
I could get behind a 25% check here.
Yeah.
And a,
Checking is fine, cuz you
Checking
you
is
can call,
definitely a fun
you can
option.
call normal bets.
yeah, like, remember, our opponent is gonna show up with some kings and queens here, and he's not gonna fold against even a big bet. So I think maybe I'm selling myself more on this check, but I'm nitty by nature. 50%, all right. But exactly, you guys nailed the line of strategy with over bet, pot bet, and half pot bet, both all being very prevalent things here. But nitty by nature comes through with the check. And faces the polarized bets. Ooh. So, is this a fold?
No. Anything but fold. Right?
Anything but
Surely.
I mean,
Um,
the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm selling myself that having a heart here is bad. 9 of hearts and the ace of spades are very poisonous outs.
Yeah,
More
we,
so the 9
we
of
only,
hearts.
we only have 4 clean outs.
Yeah. And I mean, if we make a jack or a 10 on the river, we're gonna have to bluff catch a bunch, get value owned.
kind of like raising 18.
Raised to 18. Spicy.
After he double bet. Oh, wait.
Oh.
He delay C bet.
Mhm.
Yeah, just a check on the flop.
I'm calling.
All right. Voice of reason say coming in with the most reasonable option, probably the call. But if you are gonna get spicy, you gotta get bigger.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
5x that raise. Yeah,
Pretty
like
frequently.
if he wants to get after it, you're gonna show him that it's gonna cost him all his chips to hunt us down on the river. Because when you take this line, guess what you're doing on the river?
Oh, yeah, ship it.
Oh yeah. But we make it very reasonable. Okay, and we get this Queen River. Zaid, you got us here with a check on the turn. What are you feeling?
I call, oh, yeah, check. I don't know. I think I'm checking. I give up.
Never.
Oh, no.
Hey. You can't throw in the white flag with this.
So we would call with some queens here. So it is going to turn this into a bluff. Now, is it going to turn pretty much everything in our range into a bluff here?
Man,
This
And-
is so cool.
No, not everything, because that would be too much.
We see so much leading in like different spots deep stack than you get
But
when you're shallow.
jacks and tens block kings and queens some bit.
Yeah. So the kings are pretty much all like they want to check except for the best ones. The queens are mixing betting and checking. And then everything worse than a queen is betting.
wow.
If you don't, except for the 3s and 2s, which are checking and trying to realize their equity.
But what are we beating by betting?
We just get
Nothing.
better. We
That's
just
the
get
idea.
stuff
We're-
to fold.
You're not beating anything with those hands, so you gotta turn them into bluffs.
Right, right. I mean, what is he? I don't know. Is he folding any pocket pair?
Yeah, the size is interesting, right? Just half
Yeah,
pot.
because half pot, I don't know if he's gonna fold to half pot.
Well,
He'll fold his jack 10.
let's take a look at this bet and see how effective it is.
Yeah, yeah, that
So
would
when we
be.
bet this,
Like,
he folds
Can we also look
55% of his range.
Oh, wow.
after this? Can we look at the Queen of Hearts river?
Sure. And if you see, like, I mean, we're betting all of this stuff in here, but I mean, he folds pocket 4s, pocket 5s.
Makes sense.
folds
Okay.
all
Okay.
these ace highs.
I
So
think with the queen of hearts, our hand gets a little bit more spicy too,
let's take a peek at this
because we have
river.
the jack of hearts.
Queen of hearts. Let's go to our strategy. So our strategy changes and we bet small now.
Oh,
And we do not bluff nearly as much. We are betting all our queens. We are betting Jack 10. And we are bluffing spades and value betting hearts throughout our range. And checking some hearts as well. Checking a fair number of hearts.
Probably the ones up top most, the ace heart. The nut flush probably does some checking, a lot of checking.
Lots of. So, yeah, we have flushes, we have trips, we have full houses, and all of our value bets very small. And so we get to bluff very small too, with missed spades here. And pretty much giving
Cool.
up with everything else. So we give it
Yeah, that looks a little
Bluffalo,
more normal, quote unquote, normal.
and he folds. All right. I think we'll do one more and then we'll move to the early part here. 9 deuce. Do we get any folds on the suited side? This one's close.
There's no way, right?
No
No,
folds, no
Yeah.
suited hands fold. Yes.
I was waiting for somebody else to answer.
Yeah, it's coming.
there's
All
only
right.
a few of us in here.
I thought it was a trick question. Like, I didn't look at the ranges. I'm like, wait, do we really fold a couple suited hands? Cause he's like, it's close. And Peter's like, it's close.
It's close. It's coming up next 10. We'll take a look at some ranges that'll fold some suited stuff. All right. We get a backdoor flush 10 high. Just a check. Do we float this backdoor flush this deep?
Yeah, because we have backdoor flush and straight.
Oh, a 3 straight and a 3 flush is good enough with an under
I'm
to the
wondering
10
if
and
it's
an
good
under
enough
to
to
the 3.
raise.
I mean, I just fold.
It feels like it's not quite there, but
yeah.
yeah.
Ooh,
Maybe
quite.
Jack Deuce gets to raise a little.
Like
So
9-5. Like you ended up at 2 overs to the 4, I think.
okay, so the 2 is
yeah, I'm
just
probably
Or
a bit more splashy than I should be with this.
or the wheel and an over to the 10.
Yeah.
so 9-5 of hearts not going. Jack 8 of hearts going pure and over to the 10. It looks like all these ones have an over to the 10. They're all getting in the party. Yeah, the under to the 10. Because you also have all these straight combos here, suited and unsuited, that get to play with the 4 and the 3.
Yeah, and all the front doors, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't need to choose the backdoor the little flushes, right? So it chooses the over to the 4 and the over to the 10 for the backdoor flushes. Okay. Just a fold. All right. Let's change this up a little bit. We'll look at the early 3 positions. We'll do a little more theory here. Here we get us a hand. Oh, from under the gun, queen 10 off. Defending?
Easy call.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this was a fold.
okay.
No,
So-
call on.
Remember,
No,
we were defending, we were folding the offsuit 5, offsuit 6, offsuit 7. So what do we think we're gonna have in this block here?
We ain't folding offsuit 10s.
You can't convince Ken no matter what I do. You're right, Ken. We don't
Nah.
get to fold that much. But we'll do a little bit of range.
Broadway, yeah.
Queen 8 might mix here.
Oh, queen 8 against under the gun. I think it's gonna struggle to hang in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Queen
So-
nine, king nine.
So we can see that the block here is folding these offsuit eights. And it's folding pretty wide into the aces and the kings and along the pair axis. It's only calling the suited connectors against under the gun. When we move it to under the gun one,
Now the queen eight might start mixing.
it's starting to mix, but it's still mostly out here.
And then
The-
it'll be full for the next one.
yeah, the suited gappers start coming back a little more and the kings and aces become more resilient. And then we'll.
I
look
love
at-
folding these
Next one,
baby
queen eight
aces
should be
against
full and maybe
EV.
a sliver of queen seven.
Queen eight almost full.
Almost full.
Right? And it fishes in a little queen six. It skips this queen seven weirdly. But yeah, now you're defending all the aces down to king five, queen eight, and
Oh.
the gappers are filling in a little bit too.
Wait, can you go back through them really quick?
Sure. Seven deuce.
Yeah, that's what I just saw and I'm like, wait, I didn't look offsuit for anything before.
Yep. Seven deuce. But the EV's getting lower all around it. And seven deuce, eight deuce, eight three. Right,
Seven deuce
nine
is the only
deuce.
one full.
But you can see how low the EV is on all of these ones here, once you start playing the really early position. So you're starting to find some folds on the suited side.
Yeah, but
Again, if you're gonna call all the suited side just to make your life easier, it's not gonna be a big problem. But note that these ones are all zero EV calls.
so like even, yeah,
What?
no, nothing.
Oh,
Okay. All right, so we have defended this. And we get a nice. Check this. And let's see what they, all right. Pretty standard C bet.
Alright, here we go.
There we
Anything to
go.
do but call?
I'm definitely raising sometimes.
My opponents
big are
make
you
it 7.
Well, it's monotone, so I'm not going.
I'm not sure
going.
monotone boards, how many raises we get.
We get plenty. I'm not going, I mean, we don't have a ton, but we get the raise. I'm not going big though.
Okay, so just clicking it to like 535.
Yeah. it's
Yeah.
good.
If you are check raising, you're going small.
I wanna call.
I wanna call.
Yeah, I wanted to call too.
Call is very prevalent, but you gotta find a few raises here and this deep stacked. You know, it's gonna be one of those things, a lot of our combos are gonna wanna have a tiny little piece of raise in here.
4%. Nah, thank you.
Isn't it more with something else to back it up? A gutter or a pair or
Yeah, it's very few raises. Monotone boards, we don't get a lot of raises.
So about
it-
9% of our range wants to raise, and it wants to protect when we want to raise with sets. Because our sets do want to build pots here. Because a flush is gonna have a hard time escaping. And when the board pairs on the turn, our sets fill up and want to put lots of chips in the pot. So we do have a little bit of check raising, really driven by the value of these hands. And we do have a few of these type of hands that also are coolering worse flushes and have flush draws drawing dead that want to get a little value.
If
So
the
when we have
if the 7 was 8, I would have check raised.
All right,
yeah. Was the
Yeah, I
5-3?
mean, Joey, on different textures, there's gonna be different textures where you're gonna see more check raises than that.
Right.
Oh, I
I think
know,
it's shallower,
Yeah.
Ken.
but
you do it now.
monotone,
No, there'll be monotone
be-
textures where you'll get more raises than that. That's what I was trying to, what's I was saying.
Even at 100 though?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know 100.
the more high cards there are here, the more we're going to have check raises because the more it's going to block his flopped flushes. So particularly when the ace of spades comes out here, it really blocks a much greater portion of his flushes than it does our flushes. So on a board like ace, queen, 10 of spades, we're going to have a lot more check raises because he's going to have a lot of pairs and not a lot of flushes.
So also, I would think like if it was Jack 7-6 mono, I think even this combo would raise a good bit more.
Ken,
I
we
don't
had a
know.
check raise and we picked up equity with a gutter. Are you gonna barrel?
Did we check raise or call?
No, we
Check
just,
raised.
Yeah,
Found
I'm
the
slowing down
sliver.
on the ace, honestly. Maybe we're supposed to barrel, but like I'm like, ugh.
Slow it down like all the way to 0.
Yeah, I'm not betting.
Okay,
We
you
just
give
got
it the
more
old check
rounds.
raise check.
yeah, after the check
Yeah.
raise, you're gonna bet that, yeah.
So
Yeah, you got-
out of position,
got a
we
bet
pick
here.
up equity. It wants us to barrel. But barrel small,
And you picked up equity, yeah.
which is okay. This is what we would do with a small flush here.
And
And we get there on the river.
Wouldn't, I think
Oh,
a small
Did
flush
we
might
get,
take a
do we
different
want to get
size
there?
on the
Now is
thing.
the question.
Well, we bet small, right? So I think if we
Mhm.
had a small flush, we would bomb the turn and then be in pain on this card. I could be wrong though, but now the way we played it, we're like, we don't hate that we got there, right?
Yep.
I think we go
So-
small again.
3,
I don't like 3. I
No.
wanna go small, but not 3
Maybe
or not
10.
10. I mean,
I like 10. 3 is maybe 3. I don't know.
I think 17 and fold to a raise.
Nothing would surprise me at this point.
all right.
um, ah,
I'm hearing 10, I'm hearing 17. I'm still itching
Bet.
3.
bet 3 and call the small raise, fold to big raise.
No, I think it's, if you're gonna bet 3, you might as well check.
Okay, so we're all over the board here. At least no one's
Yeah.
betting 42. Let's give it a click and
Nah.
find out.
3,
Wow,
bang.
that would have been the one I didn't pick. It seems like it seems like there's a block bet, like you're afraid.
Yeah, but then you block bet in a way that if you check raise you big, I fold. If it's a small, I just call. That's
I
my
ain't
thought.
got it in me to bet 3 there. I would hate to get raised. Like, if I bet bigger and I get raised, I'm like, alright, you got a better flush, right? If I bet that small and I get raised, I ain't folding.
And sometimes it's inducing for a bluff. You know.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
hate to
so-
have to call a raise there, honestly. Like, that's my problem.
But the thing is, if you check and if he
In
raise
practice,
big,
you
then
won't
what?
get raised much.
Yeah, a third of our range is checking. A third of our range is kind of betting these 2 small sizes. And a third of our range is just blasting it.
That's why we were all over the board.
So yeah, we have all these different options in front of us. And the 10 of spades is kind of in the middle. Right? It's not strong enough to go for the big value, like the ace and the king just goes for the big value here. So. Yeah, it just
Look at-
picks middle sizing.
Look at queen 10, is that only spades? Or do they have the rest of it range? Okay,
Yeah, no, it's.
so none
there.
of the non-flushes are in range with king 10.
No,
I just
yeah.
wanted to make sure because it was showing betting everything in queen 10.
Yeah, so like, yeah, we don't have the straight either except with the flush too, right? Is the other thing I was looking at here, because the straight came in as well, but it doesn't matter because we always have a spade here when we have the straight. So we give it the little bet and he folds for 3 chips.
Yeah. Can we see if he check raises then? I mean, if he raise us, like then what's the response? I think
So
it's gonna
when we-
call the 10.
When we go 3, let's take a look at what his most prevalent raise size is.
Yeah,
His strategy is going to be calling a lot and raising to 45. So when he goes to 45, he has 21 and 45. When he goes to 45, our 10 of spades is just folding. The queen of spades calls. The 10 of spades calls a little. It's 0.01 to, right? Like it's pretty rancid here.
right.
So it's not good. When he bets 21 instead, we call a lot more, but it's still a very marginal call.
Still motion.
It's preferring the 10 of spades.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
weird, huh?
Alright,
All right. Extend. Ace 5. Anyone want to call this off?
yeah, call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, spades and anything.
What does ace 6 do?
Ace 6.
All the
ugh,
aces were
Under
calling.
the gun, ace 6
we,
was
we gotta
folding.
fold that.
Under the gun 1, it might still fold.
We'll take a peek at the range here.
Mm,
I think it's gonna
probably
start
in
folding that ace 6.
Ace deuce folds, ace 3 mixes, I think. Ace 6.
I
don't
think
know.
I'd fold ace 3 here.
It just starts a tiny bit of fold.
No, yeah, all the aces calling, just ace deuce.
Yeah, ace
I'd
deuce, ace
still
3 a
fold
little
ace
bit.
3.
Ace 6, I mean, it's struggling at 0. I mean,
Yeah, I'm on
yeah.
board, Joey. I don't like those little aces much.
All right. Queen 8-7. Check. And oh no. Oh boy. So that's good for our range, not good for our hand. We just
I'm
bet 2
checking.
here.
I'm
No,
checking.
now if we
I
start
wanna show
betting,
it
we
down.
can't just bet everything.
Okay. I
And
guess
this,
this is pretty good.
this hand just has no real interaction with anything on the board.
Ooh.
Ugh. Nah, you're
Check.
not gonna get me. I give up.
You're not even putting 2 chips in.
Check, fold.
Eh.
All right. Check. Just
Mm,
lose to 9s. All right. Pretty reasonable.
yeah,
98. Unsuited connector.
no,
Just crawl.
Aw.
6. 6 is good for us. King is good for him. Oh,
Gotta
check.
lead.
Alright, now you're gonna get me.
yeah,
How big are we
mean-
gonna get you?
What mean,
You're
yeah,
gonna get me real big, I think.
7.6.
Yeah, I kinda like that too.
Okay.
Or 12 even, I mean, who knows? We have a diamond.
Hmm. I mean, is anyone betting 2?
No,
Yeah,
no,
why not?
never, if I have a 6, I'll never bet in 2, so like,
yeah, I think it's,
Bet with a 5.
I think it's probably 5 or 7.
All right. It is
Bigger.
12
Even
or
bigger.
18.
oh, wow.
I knew it went big. I didn't realize it went that big.
that's savage.
Yeah, 2x pot or 3x pot. We'll take the big line today and go 3x pot.
So you're targeting, like, he's probably,
He folds a
He
king.
folds a king.
Damn.
Well, I mean, when we go 3x pot on the turn out of position, like, how good do you think your king is? Right? That's a spicy blast. Queen deuce. Call or fold?
Fold.
Good job. Don't get caught in the big blind with that trash. Well, I mean, it's against low jack. Do we fold any kings?
Yeah, we
Oh,
fold this one.
Yeah.
I think this does call some. Ooh,
Oh,
I'm wrong.
No.
pure fold.
King 5.
I guess you're figuring out I hate folding my big blind.
Mhm.
I'm always 1 or 2 pips wide.
Well, it's okay. It's this will be a good one then. You can review this study session and take a look at the idea of what to fold out here and just trim
Oh,
the
I
fat.
thought we were in king 5 and king 4. I thought for sure we're in there.
All right. Under the gun on 74 suited.
I think
And
we call
around,
everything suited.
not quite. Couple of outliers we saw pitching, but almost
Okay.
everything. If you call everything, it's not a big mistake. Ace 5-3 with a back door. Ooh, gutter 6. Oh, my hand's getting itchy.
Oh, double gutter.
What?
We're
Check,
facing
check.
a lot of check today.
But I mean, this is an ace high board.
Where'd you have your pointer?
Where did I have my pointer? Hold on. I was just kind of straying around down here. I mean,
Hmm.
can't think that we're blasting all the time.
Let's go check, check.
It went check,
Yeah,
check.
it did.
I mean.
We just gotta
I'm
figure out
so-
how big a bet we wanna make.
I love to bluff I love bluffing probes with gutters, but like, this one feels bad.
It's a double gutter.
Yeah, like this has the deuce and the 6. Danny made a good point there. So, I mean, does this one want to just check and try and realize equity?
Nah, probably bluffs.
I bet it checks a fair amount.
Seven.
I
high.
can't
Problem is
figure out what size to go.
18
Depends.
might be, 18 is kinda geometric.
The 10's still kind of good for them too. I think
no,
we gotta
18 sets up.
blast.
So on ace low, it's going to be one of the boards that under the gun 1 checks the most. So he is going to
Mhm.
have a fair amount of aces here still. Never mind,
Yeah.
he's gonna have a bunch of 10s.
I ain't scared. I mean, I know he's gonna have some aces, but I think that's why we gotta go big. Like, we gotta make him like indifferent with it when he hits a 10 here.
Okay.
And like his flush draws, I think we wanna make kind of indifferent.
Little old nitty
Kinda
me
like
is checking,
small.
but
I don't know.
we'll give it a click. It goes medium,
7.
pot or just over pot. But a lot of checking as well. Yeah, primarily checking.
Yes, 40% bets 100% of the time.
So the double belly buster gives it a bet, and well, we told the story. We bet when the 10 came. I mean, what are we gonna do now? More 10s. Uh, 24, 12.
Do we ever just surrender? Maybe not. It's too bad, right?
Well, this is the bottom of our range, right?
Yeah, I know.
So hold on, are we actually bluffing the 10? Like, are we betting 10x? Like, I don't know how many 10x we have in range.
On the
Well,
turn.
the flop went check, check, so we have all of our 10s.
So you think we bet the turn though? We bet turn, right?
Yeah, we bet turn.
So
We
how
can
many
definitely get
10s do you
some
think we're
tens.
betting on the turn?
Let's take a look.
I don't think
Good
it's a lot.
question. We still have some straights
10
and
4,
like
10 3, 10
boats.
5.
I
Our
would check my
two-pair got
10s
kinda
back,
faded.
honestly. And that aren't 2 pair.
Do we ever bluff tiny to just fold his king, queen and stuff?
On
We're
the
bet-
turn,
We're betting almost all the 10s.
On the
He's
river
not gonna
here?
fold out king queen to a tiny bet.
So.
Alright, well, not too tiny, but
Second pair is primarily checking.
Yeah, so unless you have two pair. That's what I mean. Like, we don't have tens here. We can't go bananas.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of tens. Right? Our two pairs are there, but not our single pairs. Even our single top pairs are primarily checking.
Right.
So when we bet, we're showing our best hands, which is our best aces or two pair plus, and a bunch of draws connected with the straight and the flush here.
But it does look like we're gonna probably bluff from the bottom up, and this is pretty bad, 7 high, so I guess we do gotta bluff it.
Is either check or 24. That's what I
40.
I'm not sure what
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do with this suit.
48.
Oh, 48 it
40
is.
Not enough, right? I was.
3x.
Even bigger.
I was wondering if the hearts wanted to do it. I think diamonds and clubs might want to do it more.
That was pretty interesting. Yeah, it just has an ace. So checks flop on, remember, ace low low is the board that he checks most. And so again, we see another spot where top pair, top kicker polarizes
Yeah.
2 streets, not 3 streets.
And even
That's a
if we
big
bet 48, he's gonna call, right?
No,
Probably not.
Probably not. I don't know.
Might be indifferent.
remember when we did 3 times pot on the turn?
Right,
we
right, he
top
folded the
pair?
king. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but there's more streets to play still. It's a little different.
Right.
Is this just a give up, everyone?
You have a
Right,
spade.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I fold, I think.
Just a 7. 10. Okay. Top pair, medium kicker. To me, this smells like a check call. Whatever is everyone else thinking?
Yeah, I like call, pure.
No, I'm racing.
Yeah, I'm raising to 5-3.
We're so
I'm
deep,
gonna-
guys. We have no spade.
Yeah. I don't have a spade and I'd rather raise with like queen 5, queen 6, or queen king,
No,
queen
if,
jack. Sorry, go ahead, Joey.
I'm sorry, trying to get, my asthma's bugging me tonight.
Maybe, yeah, just call, but I think it's the combination. No?
Does have a little bit of raise, but
Yeah.
yeah, and we'll take a look at the range. I think our queens are really going to want to have a spade as their other card if they want to raise, or some interaction with that straight. So queen's pretty pure. Our best queen, ace queen, king queen a little bit. And yeah, if you have a queen, you need spades a little bit.
You know what? I
Six.
just totally. Yeah, it's 100 big blinds deep. That's, you raise queen 10 when you're shorter.
So mostly
Yeah.
just calling with the queen here, just raising our best ones, 2 pair ones, slightly slivers with offsuit spades. Ooh. That can't be good. All right, but it goes check, check. Flush comes in. How big do we want to bet with this queen, or do we want to check?
Check or block bet, I think. I would mainly check here, I think.
So I would probably be betting an
What-
ace this size and a queen this size.
Wouldn't it be better to check call if we had the 10 of spades?
Yes. Right, or the 7 or the 5 of spades, right? Would probably be ideal here. Yeah, the 5 of spades, the 2 of spades. There's a lot of spades I'd rather have to
Well,
check
I'm just
call
talking
with.
about our hand. If we had the 10 of spades, it would be better than the 10 of diamonds. To
Yep.
check call.
Mhm.
I think that makes me want to block this more.
So yeah, I would block an ace this size, I would block a queen this size. Still get called pretty wide. Let's take a look briefly at these ace sizings. Yeah, so aces mostly bet the 6 size, a little bit of the bigger size with the best of them. The queens, when they bet, not all the queens are betting, most of them are checking, but the best queens, the expanded version of the best queens, bets the 2.5 size. And then 2 pair or better opens up the ability to go with the over pot size bet.
And just look at the queen of 10,
Oh, sure, sorry, Joe.
queen 10 pursuits real quick. Just to see if the 10 of spades is checking instead of,
Can we also see how thinly he gets to value raise this?
Sure. So queen 10. The spade wants to check and call a bet rather than bet. When we don't have the spade, we want to bet. And
Nice.
so, Danny, you want us to bet and then figure out what we're calling when he raises?
Yeah, or mainly just like, what is he raising, right? Like if he has ace 10 or something.
no, he's not raising ace 10.
Ace 10 is the one he's not raising, but all the other aces he is raising. So great call, Joey. He nailed the 10 he does, the ace he doesn't raise. I don't know how you do that. That's Oracle prophetics. But yeah, calling all his queens, raising all the aces except for ace 10, and raising some better stuff, and then he'll raise some trash down here too.
Well, how much of the other aces are flushes?
No, he's here with the hearts and the diamonds too.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Yeah. And then the mixed ones, yeah, are a little more flat, but when we do bet the queen small, he does raise with an ace. And when we bet big, he probably won't raise with an ace. When we bet the 6 size, it just turns all his aces into calls.
Cool.
From raises. Okay. All right. Ace 9. Does it depend? Is this a 3 bets? If so, how often?
I'm sorry, did you ask me?
Sure, Ken.
I'm playing, so. I thought you called my name, actually.
Nope, no, no. I just
No.
it put this out there. If anyone wants to 3 bet, how often do they want to 3 bet?
I don't think we get to 3-bet against early position here. with
I don't know this
combo.
deep, like. I mean, if we're not, I know ace 9, ace 8, mix it up, ace 10 a little bit, slivers, like, but I don't know about this deep.
Just call, I think.
18%.
All right. 100% call. So ace 9
The offsuit is
probably
more
Is it in there at like
Oh, ace
60?
jack first.
Yeah, it's, I think.
Maybe a
ace-jack
tiny
is
sliver of
probably-
ace 10.
looking at where we're
Actually,
pulling
ace jack
from.
feels terrible to raise though versus early position.
Ace 10, ace jack, and these are raised folds, right? Like this is a 3-bet bluff. Right? Ace 5, ace 10, ace jack, and then all these suited aces a little more frequently. right? They have better playability.
Well, you can sometimes call with it like ace seven suited and
Oh, yeah.
depends on the size of the four bet.
Sure. All right. Check 7. This is just not very good. Do we get to fold an ace high to 1 bet?
I do.
I do too.
Me too. I'd rather raise than call if we are gonna do that.
No,
Like, even
there's,
if you hit your ace, you could just be dominated so often by better
I-
aces. You could have a jack, like, it's just filthy.
yeah, I think you need 2 overs to the jacks to call with an ace.
Well, then you
Yeah.
got, yeah, you got your straight draw. Your
Do we have
Broadway.
the right idea? The raise is better EV than the call, and significantly so, but the play is the fold, unfortunately. Good eye, Dooley. Ooh, gives it to us dirty. All right, king 10 suited. Just a call or a 3-bet occasionally? Is this too good?
King ten.
I think sometimes
Probably a
3 bet.
little bit
So-
in there, right?
10 blocks the bottom of their opening range, right?
Yeah,
So is it the not suited nines more here than 10? I mean, 10's probably mixed. I think nines are more often.
Okay.
But king nine's probably more than king 10, but king 10 probably gets in there, so.
I like calling this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say pretty pure call here.
It's above the suited
No.
nine that they open.
8%.
I think Ken had the right idea. It'll probably raise more with king 9, king 8.
Well,
Yep.
King
You-
10 the least, and then king jack suited is just pure.
yeah, you wanna make, it's not about blocking the suited side. You wanna unblock the offsuit side because there's, on the suited side, there's only 4 per combo. On the offsuit side, there's 12 per combo.
Yeah, but earlier we were looking, it's like button opens the suited fives, so we were raising the sixes and sevens, and then cutoff opens the suited six, so we were raising the sevens and eights, and yeah, I don't know. But that
So,
makes sense too, Joey.
This is
so I'm not sure.
interesting, actually. This is exactly the opposite of what I thought it would be.
So these
Not
are
exactly,
value
but kinda.
raisings. And here is the middle of the range, and then here is the bluffs. Right? Kind of interesting here with these kings. So one
Yeah,
thing
I
that we
like it.
saw,
I like
When we
these
did-
suited. Go ahead.
sorry, just for Danny earlier, one thing that we saw is when we were constructing 3-betting ranges, and we did a lot of this at 40 big blinds, against the later positions who open a wider range, you can attack the bottom of their offsuit range. But as you play against earlier position and earlier position opponents who start folding out their offsuits 10s, you don't get to attack the bottom of their range as much. So you get to attack the top of their value. So having an ace or a king becomes more and more important against playing against a earlier and earlier position. Hence, you can see all these offsuit aces and offsuit kings all want to have a little bit of 3-betting here, just because of their blocker value of having an ace or a king in their hand. But yeah, go ahead, Joey.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say against early position, I like getting the suited 8s and suited 9s.
Yep, very good. All right, we flopped pretty good. Not good enough to bet, but good enough to get us in trouble. Oh, he blasts us.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Are we gonna do?
It's almost like he knew exactly what we had
Yep.
and he puts us in hell.
I don't think we get to fold with the nut flush draw here.
I'm folding.
And
I
backdoor.
mean, I'm out.
Are you sure?
No,
Do we get any
Depends on
bluff
my
raising
mood.
against that size ever?
I'm
this
out
go-
against that size.
because here's how it goes for me. I'll call, pick up like a 9 of spades. He'll blast turn, I'll call. And then I'll break the river.
Or
I
worse
think
yet, get a
4-5
king.
suited gets to bluff raise some.
And I think implied access deep changes the equation, so we call these potential nutted draws a bit wider.
Yeah, I mean, we have a gutter to the nuts, but I mean, it's pretty thin.
Alright, let me ask what do you think how often do you think we're folding to this bet?
Our range, you mean, or
Yeah,
this hand?
Oh, wait, this is a 3-bet pot?
no,
Nope, single raise
Oh.
pot.
Oh, so he bet and there's 15 in there now. What's, I can't really see. What's the bet
Yeah, he bet
size?
9
Six?
into 6.
he bet 150% pot.
9 into 6, Ken.
So we gotta defend like, 35% of our range out of position, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so MDF's like 40%, so probably, do we overfold? Probably a
We-
little bit. So
For
maybe-
We
sure.
overfold
Mhm.
against ace high boards.
So probably 45, 50%, half of our range gets folded out by this side.
I think this is gonna fold like 80% of the time and call 20%. I don't think we're really gonna have
Yeah.
raises.
That's where I'm at. We're gonna fold tons.
Still in
Wow.
there. Our second best unpaired hand. Just doesn't get the
0.9 too. It's like not that close.
Yeah, well, I mean, this has a lot of turnable equity, right? Like, would you rather have a king queen or king 10 of spades, right? Probably king 10 of spades.
We
Such a
block a lot
station.
of bluffs too. We block spades, we block the king X bluffs, the 10X bluffs. It's
Oh,
crazy.
well,
There's your turn, Ken.
there's your turn card, Ken. Exactly what you thought it would be.
Literally exactly what Ken said, man.
Yeah, queen or 9 of spades. So, we have some queens.
Yeah, I'm all for the small donk.
5 big blind donk.
Big fan.
All right. Everyone in the boat. Primarily a check, but donking is just fine here. Right? And he folds. The
Look at
worst
that.
gutter.
God.
Wow, we only had the royal flush.
And we
Royal.
royal the river.
Can we go back to the flop and see how much of the range we fold out to that sizing?
For sure. That's a great
Just-
question.
Yeah, just to answer Joy's question or to. Thanks.
Yeah.
So like MDF was like 40, right? 40%.
Probably going to be a little less
Yeah.
against the sideboard.
No, well, no, MDF is about 40%,
Yeah.
but we're overfolding 40%. So Yeah, we're-
so
it's-
against this sizing. Calling all aces, calling all queens.
Yeah,
We're
so
calling 35%, yeah.
Yeah.
25,
Calling
25, yeah,
Yeah.
right, 25, shit. I guess 35, so it's 25. That's true.
Okay, so
so
it's
we're
interesting.
2x overfolding MDF here is what I see, right? Am I
Yeah,
doing my math
almost.
wrong?
it's because of the ace queen board and the large bet.
Yeah,
I
it's the
see
lethal
what it is too.
combination.
So it's balancing. It has these floats with the gutter up here and the backdoor flush, and then it has the worse ones that it's
Wrapping around the
drawing
four.
its raises from that wrap around the 4. So the 5-3, the 5-2, the 3-2.
And they're gut shots to the wheel too.
So,
1
yeah,
point to
all of
me.
these ones are raisings, and all of these straight draws are calling because it's raising the worst ones.
But yeah,
Both
basically
sides
no
top
raise.
two. Thanks, man.
No problem. All right, pretty easy call. Oh, spicy! Look how often this thing is raising. Queen 9.
That's
Yeah, we
it's
just
probably
saw
one of the
this.
highest frequency ones. right?
Nines and eights get frisky against early position.
Yeah, queen, we looked at low jack though. This is under the gun, but yeah, it's still, he doesn't, we're unblocking the bottom of his range, so.
Feels troublesome from the big blind, but we get this flop in a single raise pot. Check. And facing a polarized bet.
I'm just calling.
I don't think we
Can
get
we
to
fold
raise.
this?
I don't think
I mean,
we're gonna fold the flush draw this deep.
If they bet smaller, I'd raise, but I don't really wanna raise this size bet.
Oh, it does fold.
Wow.
Okay.
Now,
Take a look.
remember when we saw this before with the ace high, we it was folding unless we had the gut shot to go with it.
Yeah, for me, like, can turn the 10, the jack, the diamond, like, I just think we have a lot of continues here, the 6. I probably am overcalling this spot in game.
I actually have a note on my computer, Joey, I made like a year ago. I said versus under the gun, you need all backdoors, draws. You need all the backdoor draws. So you need an overcard, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw to continue usually. But, that's not for 100. I don't really know what 100 is.
Yeah, so yeah, jack 9 gets there, 10 jack gets there, but with the queen, it's just a little too disconnected. So it's the more direct connected ones.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so
Ken,
I'm-
you want either an overcard or a gutter here with the backdoor flush draw.
I'm just a little wide with that. All right. Where is Louis Philippe tonight?
Pocket deuce,
There it is.
Flopping
never
sets.
lose.
All right. How would Louis Philippe get 100 big blinds in here?
Ah, you got a set, you have to raise.
All right, are you going to 16?
Let me ask you guys, does bottom set pure raise?
I don't think,
Probably
I don't think it
No.
pure raises, but I think it does raise. I think it clicks back.
I don't think it always pure raises, but on this texture, I think it will. Because of this spades and like the Broadway.
Mainly 16 with some calling is what
I
I
like
think.
the click.
I go
Okay,
bigger.
12?
Well, 16, Ken's 21.
I go 16.
Probably gonna go bigger, yeah. Yeah, it's probably gonna go bigger, really deep, actually.
Deep and he bet big.
There we go.
So it's,
16
what
is
was
spot
it,
on.
16?
Wow, it's like pure.
It is pure.
Yeah, this
Is that
this
just a
gives-
thing when we have
Well, I
bottom?
think if the 10 was a 9, it might not go pure.
you
Yeah.
don't want to shake off the gut shots and the flush draws and stuff like that. Here, if you start betting more polarized, the draws start struggling to continue, and really, you just want the draws to continue here. Is the deuces check raising pure? Probably. Does the ones without the spade check raise a little more? Yep, they're all going pretty pure. There's a little bit without the spade of going 21. But again, finding slivers to use the slightly bigger sizing. Oh, flush draw completes.
I mean, we're cooked.
No,
That's a nasty card.
just fine. We blocked the flush. And remember, the more high cards there are out here, the less flushes this guy has. What are you afraid he has king, queen of spades? One combo.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's some really good
King,
bluff
queen
cards on the
with
board.
one spade though.
What's the pot now? 38, what do we got?
81.
80.
It's like we have about 2x pot.
So what do we got? What's 20, 40? That'll be 80 and we'll have what? How much we got? 60? Or
We got
80?
80 left.
So probably gotta go 21, half potish.
21's like geometric.
I like
Or check.
21.
21 or check.
I go 12.
Is he going to continue with 2 pair if we go 21? Probably.
Probably.
It is
Oh,
smaller or
bigger.
bigger though.
Bigger even, Jesus.
31.
31.
So that's slightly bigger than 30% of his stack, as Joey would say. So this is
No,
There's-
that's too much for,
Power pocketed, so all of it.
GG, guys.
GG.
GG. Take your wallet out, get ready to rebuy.
Aces and jacks, 2 pair calls us off. Chip it. 200
Happy
big.
days, top 2 versus ourselves.
Flip it.
fish tag.
Said
Alright.
fish tag.
54. Ooh, it's an unsuited connector. Do
What are
we
you
call?
afraid of?
Why me?
It's a tournament, so I want to play.
This isn't an It's Anonymous meeting.
You need to make sure that you fold it 6.5% of the time for balance.
All right. Well, can we overfold on this flop? Can we all agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty
Mhm.
safe.
I've been studying on my own and I figured out that I'm a fish.
Same.
Did you figure that out between like your postings of final table or the other final table that you got this week?
Somewhere in between.
And then I got another final table yesterday, but it was only 64 players. And I was mad that I got second when I wanted first.
Were you visiting us here in Canada, maybe in Ontario?
Sitting goes, baby.
No, it was global and I like that site.
All right.
64 players, baby.
Yep.
Okay. Can we just release the cheese here?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sold it.
We wanted to see the check here.
The check.
I
We
wanted to
the
see
check.
a turn 9 of spade.
Exactly.
Saw this call earlier, and I think we're gonna see a pretty quick hand here too.
See you later.
Yeah, we saw one very much like this. Oh, King Deuce.
Yeah, you
Viv,
said
how
you never
are you
fold these.
defending this?
It's a fold.
Oh,
Said we never fold these versus late position at 40,
Yeah.
which is completely different, but
Mhm. King Deuce, King 3, King 4, King 5, maybe.
No, I
right, so you
think it
think
was
the
king-
cutoff is like
I
5
think
or
it was
6?
king 6.
Against under the gun. Yeah, folding King 2, King
Mhm.
3, King 4, King 5.
Yeah,
All
king
right,
5
nice.
mixed versus under the gun 1, so probably pure fold versus under the gun.
All right, against low jack, do we call this gapper? 97. Okay.
Yeah, that's,
I was gonna be very sad if I saw a fold because I don't think I've ever folded this hand versus the low jack.
Oh, all right. Check on the
one
flop.
check. Do we
Remember,
have enough?
ace low, checks a lot of aces.
No, I don't think it's good enough to bet lead at all. Maybe it is. No, I
No,
don't think
the-
it's good enough. It's not
There's
good
some,
enough.
I
there's
agree.
gonna be some overbets here.
Yeah, but I feel like it's gonna be more like direct gutters.
Okay.
So like 6, 7. The 7 of spade or something.
We have a 7.
Hmm. I would check.
That's
Mixing.
amazing.
Maybe actually it does have the back door.
Yeah, mixing a bunch of set sizes here. So checking is also just fine. Well, the 4 pairing is good for us.
Do we get to go crazy?
100 big blind poker is boring, said Dr. K.
All right. Well,
And she said, I can't, she said 100 big blind poker is so boring.
all right. I think we're betting 4.5 here a lot. Just trying to clean up some equity.
Yeah, if they didn't, oh, actually, that's what I was learning when I'm trying to study poker. And I think, yeah, I want to bet.
Or 9. I could definitely see 9.
Yeah, I know it usually goes to 75% size when it's check. I actually learned that yesterday.
All right.
I mean, that's what I would do with like king 4 of clubs. Try to get
Yeah,
to button.
basically a lot of your bottom of range stuff, like it just will bet, but it can't like overbet because it doesn't really have the range advantage anymore. But it's like you went check. Wait, they checked the ace jack twice.
They checked ace jack
Freaking nerd.
twice.
Actually, you're supposed to check ace. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm looking
So-
at it.
Pete, why do you say, or why are ace 4-5 boards so heavily checked?
So it is
Position.
the board that connects best with our range and least with their range. remember, they don't have a lot of cards that have a 4 or a 5 other than 2 pair. So when they have a hand like ace 4 or ace 5, we just don't have a lot of natural continues. And so they really want to protect the range because
And-
our range advantage is going to lead us to betting into them on the turn. It's going to make it easier for them to call than for them to get check raised and have to face a much more difficult spot on the turn and river.
And we're the
Gotcha.
only ones that have a straight.
So essentially for
That
like
board.
pot control and protection. To
Yep.
a certain extent.
Yeah, so that ace, the ace 5, 4, ace 4, ace 3 boards are just really tough for the early position player, right? They don't have range interaction with them. A lot of turns are going to be bad. Any turn under a 7 is going to be really bad for ace jack. So they just want to keep the pot small there.
Cool, thanks, Pete.
Yeah, no problem. We'll take a look at a flop here and we'll move it up to an ace in a sec. King 3-3. Oh, we got a spade. We got some straight interaction.
I'm going full Brazil.
Oh, Brazil.
Let's do it. I'm on board.
5 or 7 or 10.
7 or
Five.
10.
He's got a lot of kings in range.
We looked at a similar one before. No, that was a mono board. Maybe it is 7.
He's got a lot
Oh.
of kings in range. You got to polarize, right?
Clever warrior.
Yeah, I would have folded.
Warrior. All right. So let's take a look at the entirety of range here and see what the report's going to yield us on these. Why I keep saying, you know, he's checking these ace 5-4 boards. So hopefully I'm not putting my foot in my mouth too much here, but his range on a flop across all flops. So we'll go over here and we'll look at so paired ace boards, trip ace boards, right? He's betting small, kind of across. As we move down the line, you can see that ace with another Broadway, he has lots of purple betting, lots of blue betting, right? We start to get down here into ace 9, and when it's connected, ace 8-7, there's still some bigger betting. But as we get lower and lower, his check frequency increases and his bet size goes down to where we get to ace low, low. So ace 6 and lower, and there's almost no big betting. There's a lot of small betting and the most checking of pretty much everything that has a Broadway card is ace low, low.
Cool.
So
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like that's just the trend. Every time there's a lower card, it's just choosing to check more with the range.
and you can see a little bit of that as we move through the kings, right? When we go down here to king low, low, there's a little bit more of that, right? We see a little bit more checking, right? Less polarization. And then we get down to queens, right? So here there's
Mainly the
lots of
paired ones.
polarization, lots of big bets. And then down here, there's just less big betting, more checks, more small betting. So then once you get down to under 10 high boards, checking is much more prevalent for early position, right? And then again here, like a 6 high board, there's no polarization. It's all small bet or check, right? Pushing your high pair equity against their low connectivity. So when we do bet, we gotta bet pretty, or when we check raise, we gotta check raise pretty big here. Because our opponent has a lot of kings. They're going to be pretty resilient against our check raise. Uh-oh. Time to time to throw in the towel. Jack no good for us.
Yeah.
Good. Oh no, he checks.
Oh, man, if it checks, it's a disaster. I don't want him to see my hand.
No,
I mean,
he won't
the
get
jack
me.
is the jack is good for him. The ace is good for him. The king is good for him. I know it's gonna have some of this, but like I am just giving up.
Me too.
Oh,
Man,
it's so gross. I knew it was gonna spew.
I hate this.
Look at this, 75% of the time it's demanding we spew some more chips before he calls us off.
You can bet 10th pot and get a fold. Maybe.
Man,
he
I'll bet 2.5 just so I can induce him. So that I can
So you
just
don't have
fold.
to
I
show.
really don't want to show my cards.
so you can Hollywood it and make a big laydown.
Yeah, the good old sigh and muck.
All right. It's not like I have 6 on.
I
All right.
guess my king's no good.
Ooh, ace 7. Is this a 3-bet? If so, how often?
30%.
Dooley's getting
10%.
splashy.
No, I don't know. I would call in game.
Like
Around.
20-30, 20-30, something,
Okay.
somewhere in between.
No, this mixes, I think.
Okay. 30%.
Oh.
Nailed it. Calling Solver Dooley to the table. Calling Solver Dooley to the table. Will we get here? What do you wish to do, Dooley?
6.1. 25% pop.
Small. It's good.
Sometimes 12.5, but I like
Right.
6.1.
Yeah, all of them. The key is just keep on betting here. The construction of 2 cards, king, queen together, very good for our 3-bet range. Not so good for our hand.
Woo!
Yeah. So we'll take a look since we did have a 3-bet spot here. That kind of our flop construction. So. Ooh, as we can see, 3% checking. So take your checks and shove them. King, queen bet wants us to just blast this board with 20% really small bets, 1/3 small bets, 25% medium bets, the big bets, and some blasts as well. 18 chips. Very nice.
Very colorful range.
Very colorful. Just not checking. Okay. Is 4. Is
Oh.
this 3-betting? If so, how often?
I think we get a sliver, but not very much.
Yeah, I agree with
It
Larry.
has 3 bets.
Yeah, I think it's like 10, 20% in between there.
All right, well, let's get frisky. I mean, it's just easy to call, but it's hard to play as a 3-bet. Okay, so this does not nail what we 3-bet a lot. So is this a check?
I think if
a lot
we
of-
are gonna have checks in a 3-bet pot, it'll be on a 9-high board. I could be wrong, but
And this combo likes checking too, right? Like, makes sense. But I could see a bet
Yeah,
as
but-
well.
Before you just jump check, think out, I'm not saying checking is wrong. But how
Mhm.
much of the range that LoJack has hit this?
Not very much. Right?
yeah, it would be
But
pretty hard for him to continue.
it's, well, he's going to continue. Like, if we bet small, he's going to continue with hearts and spades. If we bet big, he's going to continue with spades. So I'm thinking it's going to be check or half pot.
I think it's bet small a lot. He still has overpairs to the board in his range.
Yep, he's definitely gonna have some tens and jacks here.
We wanna fold his like queen ten suited and stuff like that. Well, yeah, so I like half, I think, if we're betting.
Okay.
Or like make it indifferent rather. I don't know if he'll fold.
So I'm highly mixing between these two if I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I think I like
And-
that. Check or like just try to get as much fold as equity as we can.
And the
And
lower down,
18.
Oh, well.
like if we had second pair at like ace eight instead of ace four, and the board was 9-8, the closer second pair is to top pair, the more it wants to check.
Yes.
When there's more of a gap, then second pair wants to bet more.
So primarily betting big, one blast, checking occasionally. So we're gonna switch it up and we'll go with the half pot move here.
Wait, why is it that when it's more connected, you check more? Like why 9-8, you check more, but 9-4,
Ace,
then you have ace
ace
four
eight,
versus ace eight.
if it was ace eight on a second pair, it needs less protection than ace four does.
I see. Yeah, so now a 7 comes, we're not happy, but if we had an 8, man,
So we bet half pot on the flop and we get this very bricky 7.
Joey, my counter argument to that would be like, he doesn't have that many cards between the 9 and the 4 anyway, in this instance, rather.
Well, we 3-bet he called, so he's gonna be compressed between queen and 7. So if it's 9-8, he's gonna have a lot of 10 jack and stuff like that too,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, like here having 10 jack doesn't matter as much as like on a 9-8 board. Having 10 jack would be better for him here. So but we bet half and he called. Not looking good. Are we ready to give up?
This is weird.
Not giving up.
Well, just because we check doesn't mean we give up, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
think
mean,
check
our
call
opponent's
makes
showing
sense
strength
now.
against our 3-bet and against our c-bets. Oh, it's not done.
Half again.
Half again.
Kinda mergy.
Savage. Holy
Ugh.
God.
Ugh.
I mean,
oh, we're not giving up now. Yeah, trying to bluff.
you want to turn fourth pair into a bluff? Ah,
I think we gotta go for it, right?
I don't like it, Pete, but I think that's just what we gotta do.
well,
Yeah, Pete, let me ask you this, as just part of the analysis. If it goes check, check, how, like. Fourth pair only beats his missed draws.
Yeah, and he'll jam some of them and we'll fold, right?
is he
I
gonna
mean,
is he gonna turn ace high spades into a bluff? I don't think so. Like he's not gonna want to bluff spades now.
No,
I'm
he's not
not-
gonna turn ace highs into a bluff. Not with spades. Hey,
I'm
Jack 10 though,
I'm
hearts,
not-
and 10
hearts
eight
will
suited.
turn into a bluff.
He'll have 9x.
I ain't doing it.
He'll have flush draws.
I mean, will he just check down a queen here? Will he just check down a 9? Will he check down pocket
Yeah.
10?
We bet flop, right?
Yeah,
We bet flop
Yeah.
and turn.
Oh, we bet
Not sure
flop
about a
and
queen
turn.
with
He
the
called
rest.
twice and a
Yeah,
3-bet
we-
pot.
we
Yep.
3-bet and then double barreled so far.
Get me out.
Okay, it is okay if
I
you stuff the
would've-
turkey.
I would have went with it.
Okay,
50
well, we'll
bigs,
give it.
man. I'm like, all right, you got me. I got 50 bigs. Let's spin it back up.
Uh-oh, called us with
Oh?
one thing.
Come on.
It was a value jab all along.
I
He-
thought it was
Value-
merging on
value
the
bluff.
turn, no longer on the river, but
He had the ace of spades. I guess he's wagering on us bluffing a worse flush draw enough. I mean, if I see this guy gets the tag, 200 big blinds, no pair.
that's ridiculous.
The
I
tag,
mean, like, I guess ace jack of
Yeah.
spades, ace five of spades.
I didn't
ace ten of
believe you.
spades, Ace eight of
Deal with it.
spades. We have all the suited aces.
I
Well,
don't
like,
care
the
about
thing
your
is,
suited.
He has the ace of spades though. I'm confused.
I actually wasn't even paying, I haven't been paying attention. I just wanted to
if-
be contrarian.
Well, if we don't bluff the river with our ace high
I wanted
spades,
to argue
probably.
about my tag.
Yeah.
Okay, so like it's like indifferent. Like it's not like calling it is not really that much of a thing.
It must have
Oh.
randomized, that's all.
Yeah, I just randomized and called. Like ace king is.
Listen, I rolled a 77 and I chose to just call. I didn't know what a 77 meant, but I rolled it.
Looks
So,
good
yeah.
to me.
We're jamming 82% of our range here, right? We only get here with 9 combos. So when we do get here, like all of this is just going to be slivers that take this line,
Christ.
right? The cumulative effect is very slivery. We have pocket aces, kings, queens at full frequency, pocket jacks at full frequency, and everything else is just slivers. So not a spot where it's super prevalent. All right, let's do one more good one. Oh, 7 deuce. Does anyone want to fold this?
But it's suited.
Anybody? Anybody?
Bueller?
This
There's
is the one
Bueller.
combo we
I'll go.
fold. I think
I'll
Lewis
go,
is
this is a
close.
fold.
There we go. All right. So generally across, kind of the whole globe, the big blind is going to defend all suited cards. Here we finally get to find a little bit of folds with the worst offsuit or with the worst suited hands. All right.
But
There
it's
we
suited.
But it's suited. All right, that wasn't a good one. Jack 7. Ooh.
It's pure fold.
Pure fold. Good job. Good call, Larry.
Is jack eight a fold? Oh yeah, jack eight is a fold as well, I think.
Oh, 6 deuce. Always a defend. 10 8 4. Oh,
This guy, man.
that's fun. A serious good hand. 69. I don't think so. Get out of town.
We saw that 9-7 off was like slivers. Or not slivers,
Alright.
it's mixing.
King deuce. Is this ever a raise or is it too weak?
I think this is a pure call.
No, I think our raises come from like 5s, 6s and 7s.
Yeah, your call. Just a little too weak. Good stuff. Good work on range structure. Okay, 996. Defend by check raising. We like the high-low combo. We don't like this one. Okay. Check on the flop. Board is very locked up.
There
Oh,
might be
how's
some
this
polarized
boss?
sizing here. Is there no equity bluff?
Okay. How big do you want to splash around? Like 18?
I like over pot maybe. Would be 150, be 150.
Okay, 7.6.
Yeah.
All right, first construct, what hands do you want to check here? Cause you're not bluffing with everything in your range, are you?
Nope. I want to check every ace I have, and
I'm not sure if kings might want to check too. I'm not sure.
King deuce might want to bet, right? Like king under
Yeah.
6 might want to bet.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that line is. I think there's gonna be some kings that wanna check too on the trips board.
Yeah, I think king with an over to the 9 is probably gonna wanna check. King with an under to the 9, to the 6 is probably gonna wanna bet. Where I'm thinking.
Wait, hold on. I think a lot of our bluffs are going to come from cards connecting around the 9. Like 10s and 8s.
Yeah, for sure. Right? Particularly the club, the 10 of clubs, the 8 of clubs, which would be paired with the missing 9. Maybe even a 7 that would be paired with the 6.
Yeah, 7s and 8s, because they're in between there too.
7s, 8s, 10s, but okay, let's check king deuce. Thought king deuce might bet a little bit, but can we call a bet? I
No.
don't think so.
No, this is like the bottom of our checking.
And he just has ace queen. Okay. Jack 7, 6. Ooh, just too far apart. I think this is just a fold. Just a little too disconnected.
Yeah, it's a bit deceptive, but it's a fold.
Yeah, it's so close. It's a draw to a draw, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's us. All right. Oh, this was probably going to be pretty easy. 9-5 flush draw. Oh, block both back doors. He pots it. Do we call once or give up?
I think we fold, but I'm curious if he went 2. We maybe call once, right?
Yeah, I think we
I don't
fold
know.
to this sizing.
Yeah,
Let me ask you, if we're folding 6-6 here, do you call 6 of spades, 5 of clubs?
Good question. I think the answer is yes.
Yeah,
For pot, it's close, but
actually,
I like it more than this hand.
I'm not sure about the 6-5, but ace-5, I would rather have ace-5 here than pocket sixes.
For sure,
Ace-5,
ace-5.
king-5, queen-5.
if I had ace five suited, I'm check raising. Ace five.
All right. Let's see what it is. Okay, so pocket sixes is clearly a fold.
Is poker canceled?
6-5 with a
Did you our last hand?
spade. Never folds.
If you have a spade, don't fold. If you don't have a spade, fold. Oh my gosh, deep stack poker is nuts. You know what? I was studying low jack versus button, 80 big blinds deep. And I was like, so what if I bet 66% pot in the low jack? On a two-tone board, they're supposed to fold a 10 on king 10-5 two-tone. I'm like, really? You're supposed to fold a 10 as the button in position? But then on a rainbow board, you don't fold your 10. But on a two-tone board, if you don't have you're like, eh. And so you really have to worry about dirty outs more when you're deep stack. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be playing like cash and live. And I mean, you kind of know it intuitively, but then seeing on the solver, you're like, oh man, that's interesting.
So here's a nice monotone board. This is
Okay.
going to be a board that's hard for him to bet. His aces do not want to get check raised, and he lacks the nut flush a lot here.
I think we should overbet to mess up the sim.
Okay. Ooh, do we defend the gut shot one street? Do we check raise the gut shot one street?
Mm,
I think we call
you
one
need a
with the
spade.
gut shot. And
I would
small
just
size,
fold.
you know, would
No, I was
develop.
gonna say just
Not
fold.
quite.
This doesn't make.
You need like the
any-
4 of spades at least.
So is it calling every pair and every spade and folding everything else? Let's take a look at the deuces, see how loose the deuce gets.
Probably not calling every spade, right? Or do you mean pairs with a spade?
Oh, every
Yeah.
single spade.
I was gonna say if it has to fold more often, like it looks like it's. I guess king is the more likely bluff. It's folding a lot of the deuces.
Yeah, folds the best deuces and calls the worst deuces. And let's take a look at offsuit spades.
But they mainly fold the king because that's where a lot of the bluffs come from.
Does not fold a single spade.
Yeah, it makes sense. Might make them
have-
prove it.
Yeah, if you have any spade, you get to call.
Have to defend our range somehow a little bit, but
Yeah.
And so all of them get to call, and I mean, none of them like, I mean, 7-6 off with a spade, the 6 of spades is not great, but it has positive equity. It's going to hang around there, right? Pocket 6s with a spade, right? They're doing okay. They're a good call. So yeah, monotone boards are tough. So surprised a little bit that he bet, but had a nice hand. All right. So it's probably gonna be pretty easy. Please don't check. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed our study session for tonight. We'll continue with a little bit more look at deep stack poker next week, moving to the small blind and the complex spot of blind versus blind play, as well as the small blind finding largely 3 bets against the various positions that we'll play against as well. If you guys aren't connected, reach out to me, and we have our Discord groups, Poker Study for You, that has all of our recorded sessions there. They're also on Jonathan Little's poker coaching site, and also on my own personal YouTube. We have all of our previous sessions recorded and set up. So if you guys want, you can always find the different deep stack content and the other different series that we've done. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the session today.
Yeah, thank you very much for the time. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, it'll be
Absolutely.
same time, same channel next week.